Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Germany, and many others. Their consulting services include test registrations, English speaking courses, university selection, tips of writing a convincing essay, visa assistance, and application for scholarship. They also provide personalized coaching for IELTS, TOEFL, PTE, and GRE, which are aptitude testing exams. They have been appreciated and awarded by British Council as a silver member of IELTS Students Registration Performance of Excellence. So without wasting much time, I would like to invite Mr. Ankit Jadav sir and hand over the session. Thank you.
So thank you very much. Good morning, Principal Sir and all the teachers. It's a pleasure for me to connect all the people in this current scenario. It is so unfortunate that we are doing this webinar. If it was something which we would have done in your premises, that would have been much better. But in future, we would love to do it again. But for now, we'll have to manage with the webinar. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Thank you, Nitin sir, for giving me the opportunity as well. So as she's already given my introduction, my name is Ankit, and I look after the complete operations of IELTS in Gujarat. And IDP is an Australian company which is the owner of IELTS examination. I hope I'm audible to everyone and I'm clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, yes, so IDP is one of the owners of this examination, and IDP is an Australian company which is 50% owned by Australian university and 50% owned by the shareholders of Australia. So, we, along with British Council and Cambridge, conduct this examination. We are not into teaching or coaching, but we are the exam taking body. We are connected with MITS for over 7 to 8 years now, and they are our channel partner. So we train their trainers, and then they teach the students, and they are certified trainers of IDP. So that's introduction about IDP. Now, as I said that we are going to discuss more about IELTS today. And IELTS is International English Language Testing System. So this exam is designed by Cambridge, and British Council along with IDP, they conduct the test. So we don't make any exam material, we just conduct the test. The exam materials and everything comes from Cambridge. So let me make very clear, whether you give exams with IDP or British Council, it's not going to make any difference. So we both are partners. So you can opt to go for British Council or you can go for IDP. So as I said, it's an international English language testing system. So it's a system-oriented exam. Here, we don't pass or fail students. We check the level of your English. So why we have to do that? Because I'm sure you know everyone has dreams that you want to go overseas. Maybe you want to go to Canada, you want to go to United Kingdom, you want to go to Australia. Now these countries where you intend to go, the primary language is English. So the colleges and the embassies in those countries, they thought that we will get these students from different countries, from different background. But to do that, they wanted to make sure that the students who are coming from overseas, they should have minimum understanding of the language, where they can communicate with the local people, with the college authorities, with the for day-to-day living. So that's the reason they designed this test. So our first language in India can be Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi. But when you go to these countries, your first language will change because you'll have to communicate with them in English. So that's the reason you have to give this exam. And as I said, we don't pass or fail students in this examination. We just check the level of your English. So it's just like the more practice you do, the level of your English gets better. So that's I'll start a small presentation and then we can discuss about it. This was kind of an introduction about IELTS. So just give me 1 minute. If I can be allowed to do the presentation, I think Ajay sir is presenting right now. If you can stop presenting. Yes. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So are you able to see the PPT?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So as I said, it's a global test. It's not locally designed. It's designed by Cambridge, and it's accept the that more than 9,000 organization, colleges, and institutes accept the results of this examination. And in till 2018, almost 3 million students have appeared for this examination. So it's an English language testing system, and we are the joint owners with British Council and Cambridge. So I've done the introduction. Now, as I said, we are exam conducting body, so you can register for examination with IDP or British Council. NITS will help you how to do that, how to register for the examination. We'll go in that part as well. Now, IDP has been, a market leader when it comes to IELTS examination. We hold more than 50% of the market share, and we have a lot of comprehensive online services. And we have 39 test pen and paper based examination test centers. We have 22 computer delivered examination test centers all over India. So the process is very smooth if you register with IDP. And then once you register for the examination, you get a free material as well to prepare online. NITS has got a comprehensive, they've been into coaching for more than 9 years. So obviously they have more material than what we provide. This is just the basic one. So if you register with NITS, they provide the material as well for preparation of the examination. Now, before we move forward, let me, for example, every examination, as you know, there are subjects which you have to clear. So in IELTS examination, we have modules. And this examination is conducted for academic purposes and for general purposes. Now, students who want to go for overseas education, they have to give academic examinations. And people who intend to go for permanent residency, immigration, or work purposes, they have to give general training examination. Now, this is so today we'll discuss about academic because most of you are students. So there are 4 modules in this examination, which is listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So these are the 4 subjects you can say in this. It's modules, but and it's an exam. So the first part is listening, where it's of 30 minutes, and there are 4 sections, and then you have to answer 40 questions. Then we have reading, which is 60 minutes. There it's divided into 3 sections, and you have to answer 40 questions. Then we have writing, which is for 60 minutes, and there are 2 tasks in it. And then we have a speaking test, which is between 11 to 14 minutes, and it's divided into 3 parts. For total test time, if you talk about listening, reading, and writing, which happens to be on one single day, which is 2 hours, around 2 hours 40 minutes. And then you have speaking test, which can be 2 days, which can be 5 days before the test, or 5 days after the LRW test. So that is for 14 minutes. So tentatively 2 hours to 2 hours 45 minutes. So we'll discuss about listening today. So speaking first. So speaking is something which you normally do in day-to-day life. You know, you talk to your professors, you talk to your lecturers, you talk to your friends. But similarly, we take your speaking exam. So it's in a private room with one-on-one. We have an examiner who is an experienced examiner who is Cambridge certified. They're CELTA certified examiners. So they take your examination. When you enter the examination hall, they will ask you to introduce yourself, which is part one. So that would be around 4 to 5 minutes. So that's the most easiest thing we can ask you. So you can treat that as an icebreaker, where they give you 4 to 5 minutes and they ask you to talk about yourself. So that's the best thing which can happen to you. You know, it's very easy to talk about yourself. So we want you to be confident when you start your speaking examinations. That's the reason we have this part one where you talk about yourself. Then you have part two where you're given a topic and you get a time. You get around 60 minutes to make points for it, and then you have to talk about it for 3 to 4 minutes. And then in the part three, there will be a discussion, or they will be asking you questions related to part two. So that's about speaking test. So it's not rocket science. It's just that you have to be very don't treat it as an exam. Just go in a casual way, and here we are not checking your knowledge in speaking examination. What we are looking for is these things, that how well you use your lexical resources, Fluency and Coherence. So whole speaking examination, when the examiners, they do the marking, this is how we check it. The 25% weightage goes on fluency and coherence, 25% goes on lexical resources, 25% for grammatical range and accuracy, and 25% for pronunciation. Now, fluency and coherence is ability to speak with accuracy and proper expression. You have to make sure that you have that right speed as well. You're not very fast, you're not very slow. So ability to speak with accuracy with right speed. Lexical resources is usage of vocabulary, how using of uncommon words, not using day-to-day common words. For example, I'll give you an example. Modern technology, you can use the word for modern technology, you can use the word cutting edge technology. So using uncommon words. Grammatical range and accuracy is able to use variety of sentences, complex sentences, simple sentences. And then pronunciation is how clearly you speak, and it should be easily understandable for the listener. So these are the main criteria of how we check your speaking module. And see this is more in detail if you want to just have a look. So ability of fluency and coherence is ability to talk with normal level of continuity, rate, and effort. How fully the topics are covered, to what extent they sequence ideas logically and clearly mark the stages in a narration or discussion. The way they use connecting words and signaling words to make the relationship between their ideas. So basically, usage of linking words and usage of words which can properly express yourself and with accuracy. Then we have lexical resources, which is the criteria to the candidate's range of vocabulary, the precision with which the meanings and attitudes can be expressed, whether they can express themselves without repetition. See, repetition of words is not, it's not appreciated by the examiner. So you should be using different kind of words. If you keep on repeating one word again and again, you won't get a negative marking for it, but you won't be scoring for it. The ability to use less common items and idiomatic expressions, awareness of style and collocation, and ability to paraphrase. So these are the criteria for fluency and coherence and lexical. See, I'll be very honest. I'm not a IELTS faculty. I'm from an operations and business development background. So all these things you'll be able to learn with NITS. These are the basic things which we expect from the student. And I'm sure everyone knows and understands English, but are we using it in a right way? We can understand English, we can speak English, but we expect you to do something different in IELTS examination. we don't want you to use common words. We want you to connect all the sentences in a proper way. We don't want you to use only simple sentences. There has to be a complex sentences. You have to use tenses. So this is what we all check. And NITS, being into training, they can help you in all these things. Okay, so now we'll talk about criteria 3, which is grammatical range and accuracy. The candidate's ability to use the range of sentences, the ability to use complex structures, the accuracy of grammatical resources, the communicative effort of error. So these are the basic things, pronunciation, appropriate use of rhythm, then candidate's ability to use the range of phonological features consistently. So if you're trying to speak a word, you can use phonetic language as well, to make the listener understand. The degree of effort required to understand what has been said. So pronunciation is how clearly you speak and how easily the listener can understand. So that is pronunciation. We don't want you to use accent. We don't want you to speak fast. We want you to be clear and in a right speed and in a right tone. So that is what we are looking for. Okay. So now we'll be talking about listening. So here you hear a recording, which is divided into 4 sections, and then you have to answer the question. You'll get a booklet where there will be a questions, and then while listening to the audio, you have to write down the answers, and that is for 30 minutes. And at the end of the test, you get 10 minutes extra to transfer that answer from the rough sheet to the main answer sheet, which we call it as OMR. So this OMR, you have to transfer all the answers in the OMR sheet, and this OMR sheet is checked computerized. So all these things, all these trainings, see, it's not a difficult examination. I think this is one of the easiest examination to appear for. But then you need to understand the format of the test. You need to understand the right terminologies of the test. And you need to, I'm from English medium school, so that doesn't mean that I don't need training. Whether you're from English medium, Hindi medium, Marathi medium, or Gujarati medium, it is very important to take mentoring sessions. It's very important to go for training, because there is a fixed format of this examination, and there are there are tricks and techniques to crack this examination. English is easy. We all understand and we all can speak English, but then you have to understand the format of the test. So that's the reason we have this training institute, which is NITS, which is our channel partner. So you can go on their website as well, and you can connect with them and discuss about this in detail, because I'm not into teaching, as I said, but I can give you an idea about the format of the test. So for listening, so preparation advice is, the most important is that you should be listening to English news channels, English podcast, whatever interests you, but it should be in English. You need to practice, and you need to read right topics, anything related to your education or whatever your interest. If you see, when you do reading, it will help you in 2 ways. You can this can be used in your reading examination as well. If you read, and then it can boost up your confidence in understanding that topic, and then you can talk to your while reading. You can stand in front of the mirror and read, so that will boost up your speaking confidence as well. Then with listening examination, the most important thing is the keywords, because there would be questions. We ask you 40 questions, so we give you time. The exam starts that now you have time to look at question 1 to 5, and then we give you 1 minute to look at those questions, and then the audio starts. And in that audio, you have to find the answers for those 5 questions. So you can mark the keywords in the question and listen for those keywords when the person in the audio speaks. So listening is something which is, will overall boost up your IELTS score. It's not difficult to score 6 bands, 6.5 bands in listening. Most of the students I have seen, they easily score 7 bands. So listening is one of the easiest module in this examination, where it can overall help you to boost your IELTS score. Say, for example, you score 8 bands in listening, and rest all if you score 6.5, then still you will be able to score 6.5 plus bands in overall IELTS examination, because for overall bands, we check the average score. So that's about listening. And now we talk about reading. Now reading is for 60 minutes, and it's divided into 3 sections, and then we ask you 40 questions. Now I'm sure you all have done, in school, when you're in school, we used to do comprehension, that you have a passage, you have to read it, and then you have to write the answers. They ask you question at the bottom, and then you have to, it's something on the similar lines. It can be a general material, and it can be about a passage can be about an argument or anything related to, that's, yes. So that's for general, yes. So anything, it can be an educational thing, it can be something related to technological topics. So it can be anything, and then you have to read those passages. It's 3 passages, so you have to read those passages, and then you have to answer 40 questions. Now the passages which comes in academic examination, right? They are between around 22 to 2600 words, 3 passages altogether. So around 800 words in a section. So there are 3 sections. So you have to read around 24 to 2600 words. So in 60 minutes, practically, I'll be very honest, it's not possible to read all the 2400 to 2600 words and then answer those 40 questions. Because if you do that, you will be, 30 minutes will go into reading the passages, and then you will be left out with 30 minutes to answer those questions. So that is not the right way to do it. So there is a technique to do that. So which is called reading skills, where we, these are the universal technique, which is called skimming, scanning, and reading for detail. So all these things, and if you connect with NITS, they will teach you in detail that you have to skim you have to scan for a particular word, you have to skim a particular sentence. Then if you are, there is a question which is choose the right heading. You will be given a small paragraph of 3 or 4 lines. You will have to find an appropriate heading for it. So for you will be given 7 options, 7 headings, and which heading suits that paragraph, you'll have to find that as well. So all this training will be given by NITS, and they will teach you how to find the right heading for that particular paragraph, how to use the skimming technique to crack this examination. Because if you read 2600 words, you are never going to finish your examination. Reading test, you will just be able to answer 10 or 15 questions, and you will score 5 bands, which won't help you anyway. Okay, and again, we are not testing your knowledge, we are testing your reading skills. In this examination, whether you talk about speaking, listening, reading, or writing, we are not checking your knowledge, we are just checking your skills. Okay, so these are the basic advice, that read the question first and skim the text, note the number of words allowed to answer. There will be, answer should not be more than 2 words. You will be given those options, so you have to read it. Then I've seen many times that when students are, because I go for this audit of the examination as well, and I have seen many times that there are students who just if they are not able to answer one question, they'll stick to it. They'll start a war with that question. Yeah, no, I'll find the answer for this question, and then you waste time on one particular question, and then you don't tend to finish your test. So you have to be smart. You cannot waste more time for one particular question. So the time management is very important when you talk about reading tests. So NITS can guide you with that as well, to how to manage the time, what should be your priority, what question you should answer first. So all these things, the techniques can be taught by NITS. Okay. So now we talk about writing. Writing is divided into 2 tasks, as I said. So for academic, we normally the task 1 consists of a graph, table, diagram, pie chart, and then you have to summarize the information about the same. So if we give you a graph, you have to summarize the whole graph. You have to write 150 words depicting the diagram. That what did you understand? You have to compare. Maybe if it's a graph, you have to compare the growth and the decline, and writing a kind of report, you have to summarize an information. So that is task 1. And in task 2, there is an essay, which is you have to write around 250 words. So you'll be given a topic and you have to write an essay. Essay has a fixed format as well. What we expect from you, we'll discuss further. Okay, so this is the criteria for how we assess your writing task. So task achievement and response is 25%, coherence and cohesion is 25%, lexical resources, which we discuss, is 25%, grammatical range and accuracy is 25%. So, excuse me. So as I said that, it's not a difficult exam. So to score in listening, in reading and listening, it's easy. It's not difficult. But to score in writing and speaking, it's difficult because you have to use these things to, when you are doing your writing task. And that's why you need mentoring and training. So as I said, the task achievement in academic task 1 is how well you respond and address the requirement of the task using the right format. Whether the overview captures the main trends, upward trend or downward trend according to the graph. If you've given a pie chart, you have to discuss about the differences, the different stages, how fully the key features are presented and highlighted using the data. So you have to, while explaining it, you have to use the data as well and compare that data. So that is called task achievement for academic task 1. And task achievement, we are not talking about general training because that doesn't apply. And then criterion 2 is coherence and cohesion, which we have already discussed. And then we have lexical resources, grammatical range, and accuracy. So these are the main criteria which we'll look for in your writing, and then we mark you accordingly. Okay, so this is done. So task 1 is 150 words, 20 minutes, and it has 1/3 weightage of the total band score. And then we have task 2, which is 250 words, and you get 40 minutes. So you get 1 hour, but you have to manage your time. This is what we recommend. But at the end of the day, it's up to you how you prepare yourself. So these are the strategies how you can score bands. Plenty of time to prepare, as language skills develop very slowly. You use each of the 4 skills every day. Focus on specific aspects of language and then identify recurring errors. Consider an IELTS preparation coach or coaching. Coaching we highly recommend because it is important. Honestly, whether you're from English medium, Gujarati medium, Hindi medium, Marathi medium, coaching is required. You cannot just go and give the test by paying the fees, because you can give the test, but you won't score. To score 5 bands, 5.5 bands is easy. But with 5 bands and 5.5 bands, you won't get admissions in universities or colleges. So the minimum criteria, I guess, is around 6 to 6.5 bands. Am I right, Nitinji? Around 6.6 bands plus?
Hello. Yes, sir.
Yeah, for the admissions, I think it's 6 bands plus for, you need 6 bands in overall, right?
Yes, for mostly master's admission, it's 6.5 with 6 in each module.
Yes. So that's the minimum requirement, as I said. So for that, to score 5.5 bands, it's not difficult. You can just go walk in and give the exam. You'll score 5 bands, easy. But that won't help you. It's not going to help you anywhere, because not even for if you are applying for your permanent residency, if you give general examination, even 5 bands are not accepted there too. So to score 6 bands and plus, you need coaching. Know how you will be tested, so you need to understand the format and assessment criteria. Practice using test IELTS books. There is recommended material by Cambridge, and there are materials which are developed by this training organizations like NITS. They develop their own material as well for more practice. And sit the test over and over method of is the method of improvement. See, there are a lot of tests available online which you can give, but that's not going to help you, because that's you are giving a test, but you don't know what errors you are committing. You have to improve on those errors, and for that you need a coaching. So these are the things, and this is not important now. I'll close this, and we'll discuss more rather than going through the PPT. So as I said, this was the basic format of the examination to make you understand that what we ask, what we do in this examination. Now I'll go through the registration process, how you register for this exam, when do the results declare, and what's the validity of this results. We'll discuss about that, and what are the different modes where you can give this examination. Now the most the pen and paper based examination, where we conduct the examination for last 20 years now, 15 to 20 years, where you have to go to a test center and give the exam, and it's a pen and paper based exam, so you have to write. The second mode is computer delivered examination. Again, we have a separate computer delivered examination center where you have to go there and you have to give your examination on computers. So first we'll discuss about pen and paper with examination. Now, first one is you complete your coaching. Once you done with your training, your faculties and your administration staff, or suppose for example you start coaching with NITS, and then one fine day you feel that I'm ready for the examination, I'll register. That is not how it should be. There will be faculties of NITS who will qualify you, and they will tell you that now you are ready. If you want 7 bands, now you are ready to give the examination. So they will qualify you they will help you with coaching. They will give you test material. Every weekend they will conduct tests, and they will check how well you score with every test. So once you are at that level, they will tell you that now you can register for the test. Now, for registration as well, you can ask NITS to register for the examination, because when you do it online by yourself, you register for the examination by yourself, there is a possibility that you might commit an error, and that will reflect in your result form. You get a TRF, test result form, once you complete the examination. So don't register for the examination by yourself. Take help from NITS. They will register for the examination, because they are our channel partners as well. They are charged a bit less than what you pay by directly registering for the examination, because when you register directly, you will be charged convenience fee, whereas when you do it with NITS, we don't charge you convenience fee. So that's one of the advantages as well. And then you don't commit error while you register for the exam, because if you by mistake put a wrong passport number, or you didn't write a middle name, or you forgot to write your last name, or forgot to add Singh or Kumar at the end of the name, or you by mistake wrote a wrong birth date, you won't be able to change it. So we train this NITS how to register for the examination, and they are trained staff, so they won't commit an error while registering for the examination. So once you register, 14,000 is the fees for this examination. Once you register, you'll get a confirmation email that your examination is on this date. So in a month, we conduct between 4 to 6 tests in a particular location. So for example, if you talk about Bombay, we conduct 4 tests. Then we have 4 tests in Surat. Then we have 4 tests in Navsari. So we have different test location, and we conduct different tests at different locations every month. So once you register, you will be given an option which date you want to select. Any particular date you want to say, you can select that date, and then you can register and you get a confirmation for the same. So your listening, reading, writing test will be on one day, and your speaking test can be 7 days before or 7 days after your listening, reading, and writing test. This is for pen and paper based examination. So once you register, everything is done, and then you on the test date, you go to the test center. You go there, they'll check your fingerprints, they'll take your band, everything will be checked, your passport will be checked, and then you'll be allowed to sit in this examination. And once you complete your examination, the results will be declared within 13 days, 13 working days, 1-3, and then you can apply for the admissions in these colleges, and if you score your desired bands, and then you fly once you get your visa. And once the results are declared, the validity of this TRF is for 2 years. So you can use this result for next 2 years. Because why 2 years? Because once currently you are in India, and you get admission, and then you fly to Canada. And when you go to Canada, your first language will change because you'll be communicating more in English. And once you are in Canada, and when you come back after a year or two, and again you give the test, obviously you'll score better because you have practiced this language in that country. So that's why we have 2 years validity on this result. So this is pen and paper based examination, which we have been conducting for over 15 to 18 years. And last year we came up with a new mode of examination, which is called computer delivered examination, which is very popular in Bombay, Bangalore, Chennai, in most of the metros. It's very popular, and there is no difference with the difficulty level of the examination or the format of the test or the way we check it. No difference at all. It's the same examination, but you have to give it on computers. What are the advantages of giving on computers? First, because we are all tech-savvy people, so it would be much more easier and faster to appear for the examination. For example, if you talk about me, I don't remember when was the last time I wrote more than a page full of words. I don't remember. It was always on computers. So for a person like me, computers is my day-to-day thing. So I would appear for computer delivered as. For students, how it is important, because once you go to this destination, whether Canada or Germany or Australia, your 50% of the assessment would be based on the assignments which you have to make on computers, and 50% would be theoretical. In India, it's 100%. Depends, but it's more theoretical. But if you go to these overseas countries, most of the assessment would be in computers. So it's good if you start preparing from now to get used to it. And it's as I said, it's not a difficult test. You don't need any rocket science in this. There's a basic language examination, and we have given sample tests on our website as well. So you can go through those samples, give it a go. How do you feel? Because I think computer-based examination is the future of this examination, and I've seen students score more because they're more comfortable with this examination. I'll compare both the tests. Now, for pen and paper-based examination, when you go to a location, there would be around 250 students who would have came to give the examination in one big hall in a party plot, in a banquet hall or a hotel, and there would be 250, 300 students who have came to give the examination. And then the exam starts at 1 o'clock, so you have to be at the test center at around 10:30. So between 10:30 to 1, you just have to wait there, because there will be students who will be registering for the exam. So you have to leave at around 10 o'clock for the exam and 9 o'clock for examination. You have to reach the test center at around 10:30, and then you have to wait for 2-3 hours because the exam starts at 1 o'clock. So you get tired. That's one of the main things, that you get tired while just waiting to start the examination. And the first module, which the exam starts with, the first module is listening, and in listening you need maximum concentration. So that was one of the drawback of the pen and paper based examination, that you have to wait 2 to 3 hours once for exam to start. Then there are 250, 300 students, and when you see 250, 300 students, you get those sightings of board examinations, and you get nervous, and automatically you'll lose 0.5 bands. So that's one of the drawbacks as well. Then you have to wait for 13 days for result to come out. So with computer-based examination, what we have done is there are only 24 students, not even 24 in current scenario. We are just testing 12 students for examination in one go. Only 12 students. You have to be at the test center 45 minutes before the test. You don't have to be at the test center, 2 hours before the test. Only 45 minutes. And then the results we give out in 5 to 7 working days. So it saves you a lot of time, and you are more focused, more confident, and the nervousness level is low because there won't be a lot of people around you. There won't be people asking you questions. There won't be people confusing you. When we go to give our exam, there would be our friends who will be asking, have you prepared for this? Have you prepared for this? All those things doesn't happen in computer delivery because there are only 12 limited seats. And we have a waiting area. I'll show you the video of our test center as well. We have a waiting area. You have to wait that, and then your exam starts. But the format, everything stays the same. And we have given the sample test on our website. Now, let me show you the video of our test center so you get a better idea. Are you able to see the PPT? Everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is about computer delivered. I won't take more time. I'm almost done. So please bear with me. And if you have questions, you can ask me at the end of the session. So these are the advantages of giving the computer-based examination. More test dates and timings are available, faster results. People who are having challenges with the handwriting, don't worry about it with CDLs. You can go for academic and general training. So we conduct tests every day. I forgot to tell you this. With pen and paper based examination, the examinations are 4 to 6 days in month only, whereas with computer delivered examination, we have tests every day, and every day we have 2 slots. So you can opt for a morning examination or afternoon examination. So for people like me, I'm a morning person, so I would prefer to give it in the morning. So I'll select a 9 o'clock slot. If you select for pen and paper based examination, you don't get that option. You have to give examination at 1 o'clock, and 1 to 4 is the timing, and that is normally in our routine life. Between 1 to 3, we tend to, after having our lunch, we go to sleep, and so I wouldn't prefer an afternoon slot. I would obviously prefer a morning slot. So there is no, as I said, there is no difference with the format of the test. We already discussed all this. So that's our test venue, Ahmedabad location. Is it audible, Nitinji? The video?
Yes, yes, sir. Audible.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. My name is Shayanti, and today I'm in Ahmedabad to check out the new IELTS facility in Pvt.Ltd, where you can carry out the entire test on a computer. For my friends who do not know what IELTS is, it is an English language test for those who want to study or immigrate to a country where English is the primary language. Recently, IDP has introduced an additional option for its candidates to carry out the entire test on a computer. I'm excited to check it out. Don't worry, the paper-based test is still there, but I have heard that IELTS on computer is not just a test but an experience. So let's walk in and check it out. Hello. Hi. How can I help you, ma'am? I wanted to know about the computer-delivered IELTS. Sure. Let me call my colleague. Hi, Shayanti. I'm Mamta. Hi, ma'am. Glad to meet you, and I must say I love the way you're dressed, and sincerely, I loved your Instagram profile. Thank you, ma'am. That means a lot. And I must also add that I already love your facility. It looks so neat. Thank you so much. So let me take you around and give you more information about our computer-delivered IELTS. That would be lovely. Let's do that. The reason why we launched our computer-delivered IELTS was to provide flexibility to our candidates while choosing their test slots and also provide faster results. For instance, the test slots are now available 3 times a day and up to 7 days in a week. Plus, the results are out within 5 to 7 days. Isn't that amazing? That sounds really interesting. Our test centers are state-of-the-art and absolutely secure. Why don't we sit in our waiting room and have a chat? That's a good idea. So basically, we designed this waiting room for candidates to relax before taking their IELTS test. And of course, we are all here, so if they have any queries related to the test or anything else, they can ask us. We are always here, ready to help. Let me show you our speaking test room, which is not only soundproof, but this is where we have certified examiners who conduct tests one-on-one. So this is our main test area, which is fully equipped with latest computers and the headphones for listening, reading, and writing test. there more advantages of computer-delivered IELTS?
Of course, there are many advantages. For instance, there is an automatic word counter. One can highlight the text, make notes, and browse back and forth between the questions. And if one has got bad handwriting, needless to say, it is a great benefit to type it out.
I totally agree on that. Ma'am, tell me something. So while the candidates are taking the test, are they allowed to keep their wallets, cell phones, etc. along with them in the test room?
No, unfortunately, they are not allowed. But we have a great locker system in place where all the candidates can keep their valuables safely. Not only that, the entire facility is under CCTV surveillance, so security is not an issue at all.
That is wonderful to know. Guys, I can say that this is a really well thought out facility where a candidate's requirements are perfectly taken care of. Really impressive. So glad I came to check it out. What are you thinking? Book your computer delivered IELTS today and make your dreams come true.
So that was the video of a test center in Ahmedabad. Now this is, I'll show you one more video, which is, it will make you understand the basic interface of the examination, the tutorial introduction.
Welcome to our computer-delivered IELTS Tutorial 1. This tutorial will show you how to complete and prepare for computer-delivered IELTS. For each section, there's a clock at the top of the screen, which tells you how much time you have left. For the reading and writing tests, the clock will turn red and flash when you have 10 and 5 minutes left. The tests will automatically stop when the time finishes. The instructions for each part are in the box at the top of the screen. You can use the navigation bar at the bottom of the screen to move from one question to the next. Click on the number to go to that question. You can also click on the forward arrow to go to the next question, or the back arrow to go to the previous question. When you have answered the question, a line will appear under that question in the navigation bar. You can click on Review if you want to look at the question again later. The question number will be shown as a circle. You can review and change your answers at any time until the end of the test. Click on the yellow arrow if you want to make the navigation bar smaller. You can use the scroll bar to see all the questions. In each of the tests, you can change the screen settings. To do this, click on the Settings tab at the top of the screen. You can change the size and color of the text. In each of the tests, there is a Help tab. If you click on the Help tab, this will give you information about the task you are currently doing. If you click on Test Help, you will see information about how the test works. If you wish, you can also highlight sections of text. If you need to leave the test room for a few minutes, you can hide your screen by clicking on the Hide tab. When you return to the test room, click on the Resume Test button. That is the end of the introduction tutorial for computer-delivered IELTS. Check out the IDP IELTS YouTube channel for tutorial videos for listening, reading, and writing.
That's a testimonial, which is, I don't think so. I'll show you one more video, what kind of guidelines we are following right now in COVID, conducting the test according to WHO guideline because of the COVID. So that's a video of our Surat Center. So yeah, that's about our computer-based examination. So we'll be starting operating in Mumbai from probably a week after, because currently, because of the lockdown, we are not testing in Mumbai, but probably we are trying, and we'll start taking the test from next week. And then we have a operational test center in Pune as well, and then Surat, Ahmedabad, and Baroda. So if you have any questions, you can ask right now, and I'll be very happy to help.
Ajay sir, you can just make the announcement if the students have any questions or any queries regarding the examination booking or any other detail. We'd be happy to help answer it online here, please.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, yes, sir. Guys, if you have any query, any doubt, without putting the message in the chat box, you can unmute your mic and you can ask the question. Okay? So yes, you can ask the question now. It's a question answer session, so you can ask the question.
Hello. Hello.
Okay.
Aniket sir, there is questions in the chat box. A difference between TOEFL and IELTS.
See now,
What is the difference between TOEFL and IELTS?
with TOEFL examination, the score of that examination is accepted in only in United States. And if you talk about IELTS, the score of this examination is acceptable in Australia, Canada, UK, US itself, Ireland, and many other destinations. So once you give IELTS examination, you are open for multi-destination. Whereas if you talk about TOEFL, it's only for one single destination. Again, if you talk about the exam format, IELTS is a module-based examination. It's real-life skills where we test about your listening, speaking, writing, and you get your score according to modules as well. So one of the main reasons I would recommend IELTS is for the acceptability of the results. Because
there is one more question from Mr. Dhawal Valavalkar. What will be the overall cost of the process?
The examination fees is 14,000, but then there would be coaching and mentoring fees that I'm not. It depends on NITS that how much they are charging for the coaching. But the examination fees is 14,000. I'm sure there would be coaching and training fees as well, which is separate.
Okay, thanks sir. Thanks sir. One more question is from Devika. Is there any other advantages of attending for this test other than the education purpose?
See,
she needs to say, other than the higher studies, is there any other advantages of this question?
I think that this is once you go to this overseas destination, and obviously you're going to use the score for your university. But even if you're looking for a job, you can mention it in your resume that I appeared for IELTS examination and I've scored this much, and that can be added in the added advantage for your resume, and which shows that you have good communication skills in English. Any more questions? Nitinji, you can also help me to answer the questions.
Yeah. Absolutely, I'm here, sir.
Yes. Again, what question is there? What's the difference between IELTS academics and IELTS generals?
See, with the format of the test, there is no difference. The difference is that with general, the reading passage is a bit more shorter. In academic, it's longer. And in writing examination, there is a difference in task 1. In task 1 in general training, you have to write a letter, whereas in task 1 academic, you have to describe a diagram or a graph. Right, Nitinji?
Yes, exactly.
So, good morning, sir. I just wanted to ask you, after giving IELTS academic, can I give general?
It's not very clear. Can you repeat the question, please?
After giving IELTS academic and my education would be completed, And after that, can I give IELTS general or PR?
See, normally IELTS academic is acceptable for academic purposes only. After completing your education, if you're planning to apply for permanent residency, or are you planning, you're planning for a job and those people have requested that you will have to give IELTS, then in that cases you have to give general examination. But for academic purposes, for admission purposes in the universities and educational institute, you have to give academic. And after that, once you're done with the studies for permanent residency and other purposes, you have to give general training.
Thank you, sir.
Any more questions, please?
Any more questions, guys? You can ask.
So, Nitin, I think we'll wind up the session. I'm
Yes.
sure if you have any students, if you have any question, you can route it through your lecturers and professors to Nitin sir, and he'll be happy to help you. You can route it to me as well, and I'll be very happy to help. And see, before we leave, I would just say that whether you give exam from British Council or IDP, it's not going to make any difference. We both have tests on the same day, same date. And the advantage with with IDP is that we have computer delivered IELTS as well in most of the cities, and we have our own offices for operational purposes in all the cities. So in case if there is any problem, you can knock the door of IDP. Whereas with British Council, they don't have their physical offices in all the cities. So that's the advantage. That's one of the advantage to register with IDP. And thank you very much, everyone, for your time. I really appreciate it. And take care of yourself and your family. Thank you. Nitin, over to you.
Thank you, Ankit sir, for this excellent session. I hope this will be a great informative session for all the students and faculty members. This was a very informative session because in this COVID challenging condition, I think this was the best platform where students could get this information and knowledge regarding their test. Also, I would like to thank principal sir, all the faculties and students who have given their valuable time attending this webinar, and definitely it will come out to be a great success in future because we are looking forward. Again, I would like to mention the presence of our Virar office. So we are there now in your town, especially to the students. So anything, any query, you can just point it out to the college official as well, and they'll come back to us and directly contact us. Again, as Ankit sir said, stay safe, look after yourself, and take care of your family. Thank you again. Over to the principal sir or college, please.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the entire session. Sir is not available here right now, but thanks for this informative session, sir. Now we'll conclude the session. Rucha is there. Rucha?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So,
Conclude the
thank you,
session.
thank you, management, for this lecture. I request everyone. Thank you.
Yes. Guys, I have already shared one feedback link in the chat box. Please fill that feedback. Okay. Please give your valuable feedback. Okay. Yes, sir. Namdev sir, over to you, sir.
Yes, now we'll conclude the sessions now, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Again.
Thank you, sir.
very
Thank you,
much.
sir. Thank you,
Thank you
Ankit
very
sir. Thank you, Arjun sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. And yes, thank you all.
Thank you, Namdev sir.
Yes, sir. Thanks, sir.
Student can leave the session now. And as per your timetable, your lecture will be continued.